don't even have to speak. I hear what you're telling me. That broken can be beautiful again. Broken can be beautiful.
Welcome back to Lindsey's part 2 episode. Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Destiny. I'm Lindsey.
We last ended the conversation with you telling us about your last pregnancy and how that was going, and you were in the middle of a move.
Basically, I got pregnant and we were living in like a 3-bedroom row home with all these children. And I was like, we got to do something. There's no way. We started that journey of looking. We didn't know where we wanted to go. Our end goal was Pennsylvania. But we were like, oh, we have family in Maryland. We can stay in Maryland too. But we ended up choosing Pennsylvania. And I don't regret that decision at all. We love it up here. It's great. The schools are great. The kids love it. You know, I can send my kids outside and not have to worry about them. Like, they're great. We have a huge yard. So we love that. Yeah, but moving while pregnant was not fun. Looking house hunting was also stressful. Here's my plan. I thought, okay, maybe since it's a girl and it's a singleton pregnancy, I won't have all that fluid and I'll be good and you won't have to get the needles in my stomach and all that. So around 24 weeks, that's when it hit me. And I had the doctor basically tell me I didn't look uncomfortable and she wasn't doing anything until I got steroid shots. And I went and cried to my OB and he's like, it's fine. We'll figure it out. He was really great at comforting me at my bad days, because there was a lot of bad days because I was just so miserable. I was so big. I was done. Mentally, I didn't want any more children. I got rid of all my baby stuff after Leah. I was done. I didn't want any more kids. I was content. She was too. We're getting into that potty training stage. We're done with the newborn stage. Yeah.
Right.
And then, whoops, here it is. So, again, my husband's pull-out game is weak. And I had an IUD in, so I thought I was protected. Joke's on me.
Yeah.
But after going through all that, and I ended up getting drained with her 3 times. I think I talked about that in the last episode and how the last drainage didn't go well. So I was 34 weeks and I was really sick with, like, it wasn't pneumonia, but it was like this cough, like I couldn't talk at all. Like, at all. Like,
Wow.
Berman had to come to urgent care with me to talk for me because I couldn't talk. And now at this point, it's a little after Christmas, and I'm like, okay, something's like, I need something. So they wouldn't give me anything because I was almost due, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can really give you. You don't have RSV, you don't have any of COVID or anything like that. I'm like, okay. So then, I gave it a couple more days and I was not getting any better. And I messaged my OB and I'm like, I need something. Like, this is terrible. Like, I was coughing so bad I was puking. So, and then I couldn't talk. Like, again, I couldn't communicate because I couldn't talk. So he ended up giving me a CPAP and that helped. I think when I had her, I was on my last 2 days of it. But even the like first 24 hours of the dose, I was so much better. I was still miserably pregnant.
Yeah.
Having contractions on and off, going back and forth to the hospital. And I wanted to deliver at university because that's where my doctor was. And we had went to Texas Roadhouse the night before. And I just felt off. Like I had a UTI kind of thing again. And I felt the contractions and we're eating dinner. And I'm just like, I want to get through this meal because I want a good meal. If I'm going to the hospital, I'm eating a good meal before I go. So
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there counting contractions and I'm eating and I'm like trying to stay calm because the kids are there and I'm like looking at Berman and he's looking at me and I'm just like, all right, I'm good. So I'm eating and finally I drank a bunch of water. They kind of like subsided. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to the hospital. So we got him, they went to bed, whatever. And then the next morning I woke up and I had like a nightgown and I went to the bathroom, nothing, not normal. And I'm like making breakfast for the kids because the big kids are at school. And it's like 7:30 in the morning. And I'm making Lucas and Leah breakfast. And next thing you know, I feel like dripping. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I just went to the bathroom. I'm like, no. So then I'm like, what is that? What is going on? So I'm like thinking I'm peeing myself because that's usually what happens.
Oh,
And then next thing you know, water's just pouring. I'm like, crap. I call Berman. I'm like, I think my water broke. And he just got to work and he works in Maryland still. So then I go downstairs to my dad. And so my dad, we found out he has stage 4 colon cancer last August. And so he lives with us. And I remember going down there and I had a towel wrapped around me and I'm like, Dad, because he wasn't answering me. I'm like, Dad, I need you to drive me to the hospital. And he was like, what do you mean? And he's like, and he doesn't walk that well. So he's like, by the time I get ready and all that, you could have the baby. He's like, I'll just stay here and watch the kids. He's like, you're going to have to call an ambulance. I'm like, great. So I'm calling the ambulance and I'm like, I wasn't in pain. Like I wasn't having consistent contractions. So I was like, okay. But I'm like trying to change my clothes. And before I could put pants on, they're just already wet. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what to do about this. So I'm just sitting there in wet pants. And it had just snowed up here, like probably the night before last or whatever. So I carried my bag, my hospital bag, because I've never had a hospital bag any delivery of mine, okay? And I had hospital bags. I had my breast pump. I had my clothes bag. I'm like, all right, I'm bringing my bags downstairs. I think there was like 3 of them. And she comes in and she's like, she's like, okay, you look okay. And you could tell she was kind of a little nervous, I guess. I don't know. And she's like, you look okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I said, I just need an Uber. And she's like, okay, all right, can you walk? I said, yep, I'm just a little wet. Do you want me to bring the towels? Because I was sitting on towels on my couch. And she's like, no, I think we're okay. So they ended up wheeling the gurney or whatever they call it up to the driveway. And she's holding my hand walking because of obviously the snow. And the whole way there, we're joking. And I'm just like, this is my life. I guess I'm not going to university. They're like, no. All right. So, I was telling her about my other kids and, this pregnancy. And so we got there and I remember like when they took me down, I remember looking back at the ambulance and I'm like, it was soaked. Again, I had a lot of fluid. So that ambulance was soaked. She's like, it's fine. It's fine. So they took me upstairs and we do so for my business, we do like a monthly quarter auction in Maryland. And so I originally took the kind of maternity leave off of it for January, but she needed someone. So we're like, okay, we'll do it. If I don't come, Berman will come and do it or whatever. It's fine. So we were supposed to do it that night. And my mom had called me and she's like, hey, did you call your uncle about watching the kids so you could do the quarter auction? I'm like, Mom, I ain't going to their quarter auction tonight. I'm in the ambulance because I'm having a baby today. And she's like, what? What do you mean? Right, I'm on my way. And I'm like, because I didn't have time to call. I was too busy talking to them. And I thought Berman would do that. So we get in the room. This poor nurse. I remember they put me in the triage room and I'm literally so sorry. And she's like, comes in and she's like, yep, you ruptured. I'm like, I'm going to hurry up and answer, get these questions in. And then we're just putting you in another room. So she helped me get undressed. She's like, I'm going to put you on the bed and I'm going to go get more towels. So she comes in with, I think she had 30 towels stacked up. You couldn't even see her face. And she's like, the nurses thought I was exaggerating when I told them you had a lot of fluid. So we're going to probably use all these. Now, I had gestational diabetes. Yeah. So I had gestational diabetes with Lainey, which I had them with all my pregnancy other than the twins because I was still so early that I passed the first test and I was getting ready to take the second one when I had them. But I had gestational diabetes pretty early. Like my fasting numbers were really high. I got put on insulin, learning to teach myself how to give myself a needle. It was very often that I did the needle by myself. Berman did it most of the time. But so I had to be on the insulin drip. And then I kept having problems where her heart rate would drop. And they're like, "Okay, what is going on?" And she kept calling the doctors her friends. She's like, "I'm gonna call my friends and see." So she's like very calm, very. And I remember sitting there, and I had the cerclage, the thing that stitched my cervix. Well, they had to get that out because it could do damage to my cervix. So I remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem was because sometimes you can take it out, and I could go into being 10 centimeters. So Berman was still on his way, and I'm like telling the doctors, I'm like, "My husband's on the way. Can we please wait for him?" And I'm tracking him. He's 10 minutes away. So we waited, and he just got there. As soon as they came in the room, he was right behind them. So they took the cerclage out, which was not medicated. And I'm pretty sure they stuck scissors this big to get it out because it was tied pretty tight. Yikes.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was not fun. Luckily, I think I went from 2 centimeters to 5. So then they
Oh
gave
my
me the
goodness.
epidural and stuff, and then now by this time, it's like 9:00, okay? The plan was for me to get my tubes removed because I was done having kids, and I had signed a consent at university. Well, instead of them having me sign a consent, they called university and got my paperwork that I signed, so that way that was
No.
okay, cool. And so my doctor, my OB from university calls me, and he was like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Guess I'm having a baby in PA, not Maryland like I want it." At first, I thought I would be a little bit more nervous, but I had went there before just because I had contractions, and I wanted to make sure they knew who I was, at least had record of
Yeah.
me. I'm glad I did that, and then I had a friend who had her baby there, like, 10 years ago, and she she had her baby was in NICU, so she said, they were really good, so I felt okay, like, I was like, "Alright, I don't know these doctors, but you know what? It is what it is." So
Yeah.
I remember I got this rush, like, my heart just started racing, and I was told the nurse, I'm like, "I just don't feel good," and she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I don't feel right. I feel like my heart's racing." So she, like, put me up to the pulse ox, and she's like, "Oh, yeah." My heart rate was, like, 1 and I was laying down.
Wow.
So she kept repositioning me, trying to see if that would do it. So when my heart rate went normal, Lainey's would go low, hers would drop. So she repositioned me again, and when I went high, Lainey, so we were just playing this game, vice versa, for, I don't know, an hour,
Yeah.
2 hours. So then they were like, "Okay," she said, so then they came in and they put, like, something on her head to measure her heart rate to make sure it was it,
Yeah. I've
um
heard of that.
yeah, and then they came in and they were getting ready to put more amniotic fluid in me, back in, because they thought maybe my water broke too fast, like, maybe that was the issue, and she just didn't like not having that much fluid because she was so used to having all this fluid, and she didn't have that anymore. So, they were getting ready to do that, and the nurse came in to, like, she'd, like, lifted up my bed sheets to, like, look, and there was clots. She's like, "Oh, I gotta call my friends." And I didn't see, but I saw my mom's face, and I'm like, "Yeah, shit's about to hit the fan." So, Berman's asleep in the rocking chair, and I hear my mom say, "Berman, you need to wake up. Berman, you need to wake up." The one resident comes in, and she looks, and she's like, "We're probably gonna have to do a C-section." I'm like, "Okay." Then she called the attending, and the attending didn't even make it to the curtain by the door. She looked, and she goes, "Oh, no, we gotta go, and we gotta go now." She's on the phone. She calls I guess, the OR to tell them it's time, and she's like, "This is what's happening. I think you're having a placenta abruption where your placenta's separating. But here's the problem. If it separates, dad can't be in the room, and we have to put you to sleep." I'm like, "Oh god, okay." I don't know if I felt like I was nervous, but I don't know, I can't explain how I felt. So then my mom's, like, giving me a hug, and I'm not a hugger, okay? Please get off of me. And then I started crying because I don't even know why I was crying at this point. I was probably just so tired
Yeah.
because I've never had a C-section either. I literally, by the time they said C-section and I got in the room, I think it was, like, 8 minutes, and she was out. Yeah, it was
Wow. That
insane,
was
like,
fast.
yeah, so Berman wasn't even in the room, so they had already cut me and everything before Berman got in the room. I don't even think his butt sat on the chair when they were like, "Oh, happy birthday!" Then here comes the thing. So That hospital had me at 35 weeks. They said I was 35 weeks. Technically, I was 34 and 6. But the nurse was like, don't say nothing because 35 week is the cutoff for NICU. It's like 50%. They go to NICU. It just depends on the baby. I'm like, okay. So Nikki was in the room just in case. And I remember laying there and like I was throwing up. So Berman had went over there to see the baby. And I remember her crying. No one is telling me anything, what is going on. And I'm like asking the anesthesiologist and she's like, I'll have a nurse come talk to you in 1 second. I'm like, okay. And they're still working on me because at this point they're removing my tubes. And um, she comes over and she goes, oh, she looks great and all this. And I said, well, what about NICU? And she goes, they're gone, honey. She don't need NICU. And I cried. I literally cried my eyes out. I was so happy.
That's great.
Like that was a miracle for me. And Berman brought her over and we got that moment and it was really nice. And then he ended up taking her to the recovery while they finished up with me. And I remember coming out and no one knew her name because we didn't tell anyone her name. And I had made a nameplate for her and all this. It was in my bag and my mom had all our bags. I called my dad first and my kids after I had her and I was situated. And we told them the name and we named her Lainey because that means shine. So we thought shine after the storm with Liam. And then her middle name's Noelle. My dad's name is Leon. It's Leon backwards because we found out he had stage 4 cancer and he's been a fighter. And we were like, yeah, we want her to be a fighter. And so that's where her name came from. And then we went up to the hospital room and we had a baby in the room. We have never had a baby in the room. So it was weird. And all the nurses knew that. And the nurse came in and she's like telling us about the paperwork. Like, oh, you write down when she eats, when she poops and pees. And we're like, okay, where do you want us to put the diapers? And she said,
I did the same thing. Oh my God. When I had my second, I'm like, you don't need to weigh the diaper. She's like, no, you can just throw it away. I'm like, oh, great.
And then she looked and she was like her eyes like crossed and she's like, what? And I'm like, you don't measure them here? And she goes, no, we trust you here. You can just throw them away.
Oh my God.
That was so more good. And then what was the other thing
that is hilarious.
And then another weird thing for me was she didn't get monitored at all. Not like a heart monitor, like nothing. And I'm like, you're not going to hook her up to machines? And they're like, no. We just come check on her every so often and listen to her and check her temp and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Really? She's like, yeah.
They didn't even put a pulse ox on my twins when they were born until
Freaked me out.
I was
like the
mind blown.
day at. Yeah, I think it was like a day I think it was a day later they came in and it was for like the discharge paperwork. They wanted to make sure their oxygen was good. That was the only time they put a pulse ox on them. And I was like holding my breath. I was so scared.
Look, I asked about it because I'm like, look, if there's any problems, I need to know on day one. I'm not trying to wait until discharge day. Like, please just do it all now. So they did check her on a pulse ox like the day I had her. But they're like, I mean, she's fine. So I'm like, are you sure? Like, I don't want no surprises.
I had to send her to the nursery one night because she kept making all these noises and I wanted to make sure she was breathing and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to send her to the nursery for a few hours so I can sleep. And she's like, oh, absolutely. We'll take her. And I'm like, okay. This is weird.
Yeah,
Never had a baby.
The entire time.
Right. And then like, listen, them NICU babies and them normal babies, they're different. I'm telling you right now, me and Berman were sleep deprived for like 3 months after she came home.
Same.
Yes.
She didn't soothe herself. Like she was up all night.
Yes. It wasn't until we went to the chiropractor that they actually started sleeping through the night. And oh my God, what a miracle that was. I thought we were going to divorce, honestly. It was so hard. It was so hard. I mean, nonetheless, I had 2, but that was rough.
We were, it was rough with one.
Right.
We're tired.
With one, I was about to lose my mind.
And I was still recovering from the C-section too. So I couldn't lift her. And then of course I couldn't lift the toddlers, which they were used to. So that was hard. And then
Go ahead.
Yeah.
How was that recovery for you?
So I was okay. The worst part of it was the second night in the hospital. I remember, I was in tears. So I'm not a big pain medicine person. Okay. Like it makes me
Yeah.
throw up. So I was scared to take it. So I'm like, can I just have half? And she was like, yeah, I can give you half. I'm like, okay. So I sat on the edge of the bed and I'm talking to myself and I'm like, I'm not a weak ass bitch. I'm not a weak ass bitch. And I know Berman's laughing at me, okay, at this point. So I get up and I took the wheelchair and I'm like, walking it's like 2 a.m. Me and Berman are walking the hallways because I just had what else to do because I was in so much pain. But then after I did that, I felt better. I can manage this now. But then I came home and I was still sore and steps were I don't have that many steps in my house, so it wasn't terrible. I had like 7
Yeah.
that I really had to go up. And so I had her Monday and I was at the store on Thursday.
I feel like my C-section, I was a unicorn.
For Kyrie, you got cut both like crossed, right?
Yeah, I had a
Oh, I'm sorry.
classical, so they did both horizontal and vertical, and they did the same for Delaney. So she was cut the same way. And I don't know. I th- Honestly, I truly believe that they severed some of the nerves, and that's why I didn't feel anything. Because my recovery for both of my C-sections were like nothing. I I was like up and running, and the doctors were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, calm down." And like, you're walking too fast. And I'm like, this is my normal walking pace. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
No, I
So
was
My
not
recovery
walking.
with Delaney was great. Like, I felt nothing. It was cool. But with Demi, I was like, excuse me, is this what this should feel like? Like, it felt completely different.
did you
I
do
I'm
it at the
thinking
same
it's
hospital?
because no, I actually went to a
Oh,
different hospital, but I'm thinking it was because she was bigger and I was further along and all the things. But
probably.
yeah, that second C-section like, almost took me out.
Well, see, I don't
Listen,
know
if
because I
I would
had
have had a
twins,
C,
so mine was different.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
honestly think they severed some nerves and I just lost feeling. So
Yeah.
like I
Oh my
felt
goodness.
nothing. I
That's
still to this
crazy.
day don't feel much of anything down there, like where they
Yeah.
sliced. But they did my C-section so beautifully that I don't even have a scar anymore.
Oh, mine looks like a
You got
3-year-old did it.
lucky.
I guess because it was kind of like a urgent emergency.
Yeah.
I'm like, did my 3-year-old?
At that point, they just need to get it out.
Yeah, it's crooked. I'm like, what? You know what? It is what it is. I'm like,
I know somebody who had an emergency C-section and they didn't even get her flat on the table. She was laying on her side. So her C-section scars from like her hip down to the middle of her stomach. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know. It's fine though, because I don't have a scar, but like one day when I get my tummy tuck. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
We just
Let me know
cut
when you
right
get
there.
one. Maybe they'll do like a 2-for-1 deal because I want one.
Yeah, right. Well,
Let me know.
there is the medically one. What do they call it? A pensilectomy or something? I'm probably butchering the heck out of that word, but insurance will cover it. And you can get a tummy tuck, and sometimes they'll throw in a muscle repair for free. So,
Mm.
something that's how you get a tummy tuck for on the low low.
Tell me the symptoms. I
Yeah.
gotta go tell
Yo,
this doctor.
Right. I mean, I think the one girl I was talking to, they were in Pennsylvania. So I would definitely look into it. I can get the spelling of the word. I know it starts with a P.
Spelling of the word. Yeah, I need the spelling.
That way you can actually look it up. But I've heard a lot of good things about that. I definitely want to consider it one day.
One day.
Did they ever like send off your placentas or anything to figure out like I guess to do testing to figure out one why you had so much fluid and
I
two
think
difficult
they
pregnancies?
I think they had sent it like my fluid with Lucas and everything came back. Like I think it was more genetic stuff than anything. So everything came back fine.
see, I was the opposite. I had absolutely no fluid. So, and they never gave me any
I don't know
answers. It just
that
happened.
fluid's rough. That fluid's heavy. And then
Yeah.
you got the baby, and it's not fun. Christmas, I
Can't
was
imagine.
crawling on the floor trying to be Santa, and Berman's like, "All right, go to bed before you," because I started to have contractions, and he's like, "Go to bed. Please just go to bed. I'll finish the rest." I'm like, "Okay." So I went to bed. So
That's what I wonder if one day they'll be able to figure that out. That's so weird how that and every single one.
Right.
every
That's bizarre. There's definitely something going and it's not even like we can blame the father for that. No offense, Berman. Because, like, MJ, right, he had another father, and then it
yeah,
was Berman for the rest, so
yeah.
we
So
can't
it
it's
has
bo
to
well,
be
actually,
a
we still
we
can, it's
thing.
both of their fault. I think we could blame them.
We'll
Just
always say
kidding.
it's the man, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder if it is a genetic thing. Did your mom have
No,
high
but
fluid?
my aunt on my dad's side did, so his sister. So I'm like,
Mm,
"Okay," but then her daughter had one pregnancy and she didn't have any fluid. So, I have my sister still she's only 17, so hopefully it'll be a while, but hopefully I'm wondering maybe
Yeah.
you'll have it or one of my daughters. I don't know, so we'll have to see.
eh,
Yeah. That's definitely something to pass along to them, just to watch out for. Maybe then they'll have, some sort of testing
right.
for that.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
bizarre. How has Lainey and Leah brought light and healing to your family?
Well, they all bring light into my family. Listen, I'll tell anyone this. I will rather raise girls than boys. Them boys are rough, okay? Leah is this sweet, like, she's very soft-toned, very goes with the flow, very gentle. She's complete opposite of the boys. And then Lainey's still working on that personality, but I think she's gonna be a Lucas because she screams she just started this new screaming. She's 8 months old now, okay? And she literally just is doing this screaming thing that she's it's like a high pitched scream, and I'm like,
Oh my
girl,
god, the
good,
screech. I know
yes,
exactly what you're talking about.
yes. But Lainey is the baby I didn't know I really needed, especially
Mm,
after a
Yeah.
loss. And as scared as I was to go through another pregnancy, I'm glad she's here. And when I did her little birth announcement, I had someone make us a onesie that says, "Sent from," what did it say? "Sent from heaven for my brother," or something like that.
Wow.
And with butterflies, and you have colored theme for your kids. So Leah was pink, and then Lainey's
Yeah.
kind of purple. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we did it that
Yeah, I
way.
was that was the next question was how do you honor the memory of Liam while continuing to move forward?
Yeah. So I mean, we do a couple things. So we have a song. We call it the Liam's. It's Liam's song, and it's called
No.
Who Would You Be Today?" Or it's by Kenny Chesney. That played at his funeral,
Okay.
and then we play that every time we go into the cemetery.
mm,
And then we try to go during holidays, but 5 kids getting them to
Yeah.
the cemetery, and we don't even live in Maryland anymore, but
Right.
we go for Leah and Liam's birthday, and we'll sing happy birthday to them 2 together there.
Yeah.
My mom, brings little Paw Patrol things and little, toys, and I bring flowers and balloons and stuff, and so we do that every year. So now you have to remember, he shares a birthday with Leah, and then he died on MJ's birthday. So he doesn't have a day where it's just about Liam. The
Right.
hospital actually does in remembrance walk. And they put together every year, and we go into the shock trauma conference room and state the baby's names, and you stand up and they say a prayer and read a book and stuff. And then you go to the kind of lobby thing where they serve lunch and stuff. And we do that every year. That's usually end of October. And then last year I actually made every baby ornaments for their parents.
Oh,
And yeah, that was really sweet. I'm really glad that I could do that for them. And I can't tell you how many
yeah.
people came over as we were eating and thanked me for the ornaments. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I did that free and to remember Liam by, and always I'm trying to figure out a way to remember Liam, like, not like a nonprofit kind of thing, but just to have his memory alive.
Mhm.
Everyone likes them, and I actually got the names from the person that runs it. Like, he sent me all the babies' names, and I put personalized, like, little ornaments on there.
That's good.
Right? That's sweet.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite things about Hopkins is when I worked in the NICU at Hopkins, and every Christmas we would go up to, like, their, they called it Santa's workshop, but it was like a little warehouse, and family members and, like, the siblings of the NICU babies could go up there and pick one gift from Santa, and it was like a little store for them to go shopping
Oh,
on
that's so
Christmas,
exciting.
and I love that. That was one of my favorite things that they did. They people don't
That's
realize
one
how
of the
much
things
that
that
means.
Make-A-Wish does.
Yeah, see, people don't realize how much that means a lot. Like, those ornaments, I'm sure, made
Yeah,
that season so much easier, even
Oh,
as
right.
yeah.
difficult as it is. Like,
Like a
I
little
would have
piece of
loved
remembrance.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
really
was
nice of you to do.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do this," and yeah, we would love that, and you 'cause you gotta be careful because there's a lot of different religion beliefs. It's not just for, like, infant loss, like, it's stillborn, it's miscarried, it's
Right,
miscarriages, it's ectopic pregnancy, so it's a bunch of different things, so,
right.
you have to not tread lightly, but you just be mindful of all
Yeah,
that, so, like, there was a couple where I just put Angel, or he had, like, emailed them and, like, said people have nicknames for the babies, or so,
yeah,
yeah, so it was
yeah, that's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
What has life looked like since coming home with Lainey and
Uh, Coming in with
transitioning
Lainey,
into that?
listen, life is chaotic, okay? It's always gonna be chaotic. Having 3 kids and
Yeah,
3 car seats, yeah, not a fun time to go out and
yes,
go places.
Goodness.
I mean, we do things, and then we move, so we're still, like, getting to know the area, and we go outside and
yeah,
hang out, and my kids have friends that live across the street, and it's nice. We don't really have to go anywhere anymore. It's like we can just stay right up here. We've had a few parties at the house already. It's so it's nice. Definitely, my mental health needed this move. We were living in this small
yeah.
house, we were on top of each other, now everyone has their own like, mostly have their own space. I have my own bathroom.
Well,
Yeah.
also getting rid of the negative memories that are associated with the other house, I think helps.
Yeah.
That was
I
one of the
mean,
big reasons we sold our house. Is yeah, there was good memories there, but I feel like that's where I was also traumatized, and it's hard because you wanna keep a part of that, but you also need to be able to let yourself heal. So you gotta find that happy medium, and we almost moved to Pennsylvania. I've heard great things
I'm still
about
trying to convince
Pennsylvania.
you. Still
I've
trying.
already heard great things, yeah. And so Berman commutes, like, what is he how far?
So he works about, I wanna say it's, like, 45 to 55 minutes away. So it's not terrible.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah,
Plus
that's
he, like,
about where
gets
Bruce
in
would
the
be.
car and he puts on his YouTube videos and he just drives. He's better at it than I am. Like, so I mean, I still travel a lot because I take my dad does chemo down there. So, like, I'm there 2 times a week every other week, which is a little difficult some days. Um,
Right.
but,
That's a lot.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, man.
it's really not a terrible drive. The only part is terrible is 695 in that traffic. Once you hit 83, for the most part, 83 is like smooth sailing, like you're good to go.
Oh,
So,
I could complain all day about 695. I don't understand traffic, just drive.
yeah. Yeah.
I
I like
don't get
Like,
it.
I
literally.
like when it's congested and then it just disappears. Like, where did everyone go?
It's because of Granny in the front and the left lane when she should be hopping around over in the right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I hate
Literally.
695. 695 is the worst highway. They've been repairing that damn highway for like 17 years. Just get it done. God. It's dramatic. Okay. I had to bet about $6.95. You got me riled up.
I got you all riled up over $6.95. So
So, what has this journey taught you about resilience, love, and advocacy?
it's taught me you gotta learn what things you can control and what things you can't control. That was like a really hard part for me. I mean, Tracy, you could probably get it. I'm like
Yeah.
that type of person that always wants to be in control. I wants to know what's happening, when it's happening, and so forth. And with going with through the stuff with Liam, well, all the NICU babies, and even Lainey, honestly, like when there was just stuff that I couldn't control. No matter what I did, there was nothing I could do about it. It was either I adapted to what was going on or I sunk under like quicksand. That was the hard part for me, was not being in control.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you love your kids and you'll do anything for them. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
But then you then you're put in this situation where you're like, nothing's helping your son anymore. Like you said,
Yeah.
you got to make that decision.
Yeah.
And here's my thing. When he was going through that, when they were like, there's nothing we could do, I still tried to like look and like find anything else we could do. And as a mom, that's what I did. But then it was like, what, even if he got better, what life would he have lived? As far as like, if he was still having these seizures and he wasn't responding well and all the neurology stuff. So it was just like, okay, he's telling me that he's ready. So I think I need to be.
Yeah.
So that was hard. And then trying to go through that grieving process was tough, especially when, again, I had other kids that needed me. And I didn't want them to see me crying all the time. And I guess,
Yeah.
again, that wasn't me either. I'm not a big crier. It's just how I am. And I pretty much handle things pretty well. I mean, I would say I'm a pretty strong person, even before Liam and all this. And so my cousin, she actually just had a baby. And her baby had to go to NICU for like a week. And she texted me she was going through it. This was her first NICU baby, and she's had 5 kids. So it was hard for her. And she was only in NICU for a week, thank God. But she had texted me just basically like, I'm really sorry if I wasn't there enough for you. You went through something no mother should ever have to go through and all this. And I'm really sorry if I
Yeah.
wasn't there for you. And she actually just had a baby when I had the twins. So they're 10 days apart. So she had her own postpartum stuff going on. And I'm not mad at her for that. And she came to the funeral and the viewings and she texted me here and there. So I'm not mad about it. And people handle things differently. And
Yeah.
I learned that through that experience. And let me rephrase something, because I went back and thought about how I said this the other time. I said I was bombarded with support, which we were. And I don't want to sound like I wasn't grateful, because again, we were. It was just a lot. You have people that you haven't talked to in 10 years
Yeah.
messaging you, and then they get friend requests like, oh, you didn't want to be my friend then, and now you want to be my friend. So that was kind of like, okay. But then I dealt with that, and I'm just like, okay, maybe they just want to see what's going on. They want to check on me, and I had to get used to that, because that's where I was at. People wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I was okay, and even if I said I was okay, just to keep people quiet, I'm like, okay, I'm okay. Like, but that was another thing I had to learn. It's okay to not be okay some days. And
Yeah.
I mean, he passed away in 2022, and there's some days where I'm still not okay. Do I tell people that? No. Do I like call Berman like, hey, I'm having a really bad day? Like, no, we just move along. I keep going, and I watch the kids that I have here smile and be happy. And so Lucas and Leah just started school, and Leah just started for the first time. And Tuesday I picked her up, and she ran up to me and like air jumped to me and hugged me. And it was like the cutest thing. And again, you
Yeah.
adapt to the life. I guess I'm not a big believer. Like, I don't not believe in God, but I don't go to church every Sunday. Like, I'm not a religious person, and so I do believe God doesn't give you things you can't handle. So I've always said that, and I think I don't know why Liam got the story he got or the journey he got. I did have one of my neighbors who said something. She had a stillborn, and she said, I always think of it as they're in heaven at daycare and they're just waiting for us to pick them up.
No.
And that honestly, that kind of made me feel a little peace too. Like,
Yeah.
okay, is that daycare in heaven? And that's what I tell my kids. So MJ and Dustin, they know who Liam was and all that. Lucas and Leah, they're still too little to understand, but I tell them, oh yeah, Liam's in heaven. And I will say this, MJ is probably the one that mostly remembers him a lot. There's been a couple times he's been at baseball and he's talking to his friends and he's like, how many brothers do you have? And a couple times I called him saying, oh, I have 4, but one's in heaven. And then we'll go in the car and he'll sometimes ask me, can we play Liam's song? And that stuff melts my heart. And
Yeah, that's sweet.
so, yeah, it is. And as they grow older, Liam is always included. Like, I make personalized ornaments for myself, or we have signs. His name is always on there. Our family tree sign I just made, Liam will always be on there. So
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah.
Did they have an autopsy for him?
They did. It was very vague. It was
Nice.
yeah, it was septis, and then
Yeah.
I think that was, and then prematurity because they always blame prematurity on everything. So,
Mhm.
but then the hospital had actually called us after he passed and set up a meeting to talk about what happened. And I mean, it didn't go anywhere. It was just kind of like reading off the death certificate, and that was it. But I guess it was nice that they did that. I don't know if it was just for other reasons or what it was for, but we went just to see what they wanted to say and all that.
Yeah.
But other than that, this is what I will tell people that are going through something like grief. You need to set goals for yourself. That's the first thing. There's some things that I still won't do, like the funeral home that he was in. I've stepped foot into the lobby just to pity them or whatever, but I have not went into that room where he was like laid out. And I mean, I was thinking about it. I could probably do it now, but it's just, do I want to?
Yeah.
So
One day you might.
Yeah.
I think it could help.
Yeah. Well, Liam will always be remembered in our house. Set goals for yourself. Challenge yourself. Do things that you think are going to be hard and succeed with them, even if it is hard while you're doing them. But I promise you, when you go back and say, "Oh, I did this," right, and you're going to be like, "I'm happy that I did that." Like the bench thing. I went back and sat on that bench, and I'm happy I did that. And there was another.
It's hard to do that.
It is hard to do that. It was really hard to do that. But there was something. Again, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to get therapy, or even if you don't like therapy, there's so many other things you can do to help you mentally. Like, I started my business and it wasn't supposed
We
to
can
be
see
this
your
big
sign.
this big old business, but it's what it turned into. And I am so grateful for that because again, that's my therapy. I mean, is it a little stressful at times? Absolutely. Especially Christmas. But it's another chapter in our story, and I like that chapter. And then this chapter made me who I am because of the chapter with Liam.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you become a different person after a tragic loss like that. And you adapt, you honor him, you adapt. The days are long, but the years are short. Like, I can't believe it's been 3 years
Yes.
since he he was
I
born and he
know.
passed. It's insane. It goes by quick. And
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to keep moving on. Keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Some people who don't like traditional therapy, EMDR is definitely the best for PTSD for situations like that. The hard part is reliving that trauma to reprocess it and overcome it and see it differently, which was what I opted into because therapy wasn't what I wanted it to do. So I opted in for a more intense form of therapy. And I think the NICU in general changes you.
Yes,
I could only imagine having multiple stays. I would feel like each part of you coming out of that situation is different every time. You were never gonna be the same person you were the first time or the second time, the third. Like, that's a lot, and you did it. You overcame it, and
I
now
did.
you have this great business.
And yeah, that was another
So that's
thing.
amazing.
Like I don't know if you've like well, you've only had 2 pregnancies, but I don't. And Destiny, you've had 2, right? 2 preg
That
Hey, I
too.
got 2 pregnancies, but 3 kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
Yeah,
that
no, I
story. I
got
know
2
that all too
pregnancies,
well,
2
okay?
kids.
But
I'm
so that
okay.
was another thing. That was another thing of mine. Like I've had a few people say, "Well, why would you keep getting pregnant and putting your kids at risk like this?"
Why is that any of your business? Like,
But
mind
yeah,
your
like
business.
we got in a big old fight
Wow.
about like things like this. Like one, every time I went to the doctor, they've always said every pregnancy is different. So I didn't know what was going to happen. Chances are, what's it probably going to
Right.
happen? Yes. But guess what? I managed, we managed, my kids are here and they're healthy, and I don't regret that.
Right.
Even if
That's
half of
such
them
a
were
crappy
not
thing to
supposed to
say.
be here, but
Right, right.
It's so funny. We actually wanna do an episode on what not to say. That could be added to the list.
oh,
Because
well,
why
I can
would
be
you
in
say
there.
that?
I got some wild ones for you.
Well, I got some wild ones too. We'll definitely have to collectively get together
Yeah.
and start sharing that. Because yeah, because there's a lot of things that people should not say when you're pregnant, during pregnancy, after pregnancy, in the NICU. I don't know what goes through people's heads. I don't know if they just think that the relationship with you is better than what it should be, or I don't know. But don't say that to somebody. I mean, plus it's not like you well, other than Lucas, like, you didn't purposely try to put yourself in that situation every time. It wasn't like you knew for a fact that this was gonna happen and you signed up for it like it was bingo or something. It's the
Like it was bingo. That's
I mean, I do
I
like
I
bingo,
oh
but
my god. It's just the people need sensitivity training or something. I don't know. I'm frustrated on your behalf because people are just so rude.
Mhm.
And then to make you feel guilty for having your children. Who I don't know you, but I don't like you. I just want you to know that. You
Whoever
don't
said it,
do that.
you.
Let's see. So, what faith and communities helped you through all of your various stays
I
and
mean,
journeys?
I remember posting on Facebook when I would post daily updates of when Liam got sick, and I would like, please pray. I know I'm not a religious person, but I need every prayer I can get. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with that. I'm gonna say from everyone that is religious or who isn't, but prayed, helped carry me through, helped carry Liam through to 5 days, and I think that's what I'm gonna say because I mean, you will never understand why it happened. I will never understand why. Why did God or whoever pick Liam to go? Why was Leah okay? Like there's so many whys and what ifs and that again live through your head that I'll never get the answer to. And I dwelled on that for a really long time. But I realized that was just making me go crazy. I can't. Oh, what if this?
Yeah.
Or what if Leah got sick and he lived? It's those questions that go in your head, and then, like, what would he be like right now? Would he look like? What his personality is like? All these questions that I will always be in my head. Um, I remember right out, like, after losing Liam, and, like, we went to the store, and there was, like, a mom, and she had twins, boy, girl, brand new, and it's like, wow, why not her? Why me? Like, not to be
Yeah.
rude or, like, not to, but again, that was those wise questions, those whys. Why?
Yeah. I think those
So,
are very valid questions to
They're
ask
normal.
yourself when you're
Yeah,
going
that's
through
definitely
something like
normal.
that.
yeah, but again,
I remember asking myself that too.
right,
Yeah.
like, and it's like those questions you'll never get the answer to, and that at some point you got to stop dwelling on those.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay to have bad days when you're grieving. I mean, the grief doesn't change. It just gets easier to handle.
And I told you that my cousin just had a baby and she was in NICU. I went into the NICU to see her. It was only for like 5 minutes because she ended up getting discharged that day. As soon as we walked in, the nurse comes
Yeah.
in and she's like, "Oh, she's getting discharged today." And I'm like, "Oh, I must have the magic touch." As soon as I walk in, she's getting discharged. So that was cool. And I was a little nervous at first because I was like, "Okay, all the beeps. But I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna hear all these beeps." And luckily it was obviously a different NICU and all this, but it was okay. Like, I didn't really hear any beeps, so it was kinda because I was only there for 5 minutes. So it was like, "Okay, I can do this." And then another thing, so right after we lost Liam, my friend had to come to university to do her, like, fetal care sonogram, and I happened to be at the hospital in NICU when she was coming, so I was like, "Oh, I'll come down with you."
Yeah.
I haven't admitted this to her that I recall, but that was really hard. 'Cause, all like, I was there weekly, so all the receptionists knew who I was, and they didn't know. So I remember going in, and they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna say hi?" And I just sat there, and my friend, like, went up to sign in, and they're like, "Oh, how's the babies?" And my friend was like, "No, no, no," like, being that protective friend, like, "No, no." So then I just kinda ignored it, and we went in the sonogram room, and, she's doing her sonogram, and I'm watching, and I'm like, "Wow, I was here, and I got to see both my babies," and so that was really hard, but I did that because I wanted to be there for her, and
Yeah.
I'm glad I did, because that was another, like, I went back there. I so
Yeah. It's hard to overcome that. I know when Kyrie was in the NICU and my friend was about to give birth, she was actually having her baby shower and she invited me and I left the NICU to go to this baby shower and watched everyone celebrate her and her baby, and that is gut-wrenching knowing that, like, my kid is fighting for her life and you still are pregnant and, like, I'm not. That's hard to have to go through. That's where a lot of my anger came from, and it was to no fault of their own, like, it's no one's fault. It's not their fault they're still pregnant, it's not their fault they
yeah.
didn't go through it.
Yeah,
I
see,
had
and
to
also,
learn
like,
that.
right, I guess, see, again, like, different people handles like, I was never angry at anyone because she was pregnant or she had twins, like, I wasn't angry at that. I guess I was angry at God, like, I don't know, in my
Yeah,
eyes, God was the problem, not them, and I give her props because she came to that viewing and that funeral, and if I was pregnant and I don't know if I coulda done that.
right, yeah.
She came to
I
support
I
me.
completely understand what you mean. It's like, God's the bully and I'm the ant, and he's got the magnifying glass,
Yeah.
and he's frying me, like, "Please chill out. Stop." I
Yeah.
get it, yeah. It does feel like that. I think the NICU, you go one of 2 ways, like, those 4 walls have heard more prayers than a church.
A
I
absolutely.
believe that, and it either brings you closer to your belief in God or it damages it because of that. Like, what did I do so wrong for my baby to have to go through that? Like, that's not fair. And I don't know if I believe that God gives you battles that you can handle because I'm not your strongest soldier. Take me off the list. I don't
Well,
want to be
apparently he
on
sees something
anymore.
that you don't.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think I more believe in your children choose you for a reason. And Liam chose you because he knew that you would be able to love him the way that he needed in the time that he was here. And those 5 days that he fought was to let you know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, because he lived for 18 days. And
Yeah,
he was healthy as a
yeah,
premature baby can be, but then those last 5 days were they were
yeah. And he held on to let you know that he appreciated you and you did everything that he that's why he signed up to have you as a mom. 100%. I was told when I was pregnant that Kyrie I don't know, I think of it as like a game. Like, you pick a character, they picked their life, and they agreed for it, even if it was cut short, but they chose it because of you,
Cool.
and
First,
that's what helped me go through it, uh, and he knew that you would give him the best 18 days that he's ever had, and he's all he ever knew was love,
Yep.
and that
Not
was
only
because
from
of
me
you.
or Berman, but
Yeah, from everyone.
everyone,
Everyone who
literally the
supported you.
nurses, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And that's what matters. Having
mm,
that community is so important.
absolutely.
Lindsey, thank you for trusting us with your story. Sharing both the joy and the grief takes incredible strength, and your honesty will touch so many families who feel unseen in their own journeys.
And to our listeners, if you face loss in the NICU, please know that you're not alone. There is space for both grief and hope, and your baby's story will always matter.
And if you'd like to
Absolutely.
share your story or if you're looking for support, we'd love to connect. Follow Ounces and Miracles on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
And join us next time as we continue sharing stories that remind us that even in the hardest moments, every ounce.
Truly is a miracle. Bye.
Bye.